Indeed. This is going to be another nail-biter. You know, if you watch the last series, you're probably already on the edge of your seat. And you're going to get into this one. It's going to be the same exact thing because both teams looking so good coming into this semifinals matchup. I think G2, I mentioned it in the on the first day, when I was on the pre-show, that if they had performed well and won in the quarterfinals, I could see them going on to win the whole thing. I still believe that because the momentum is there. They've never gotten past the quarterfinals before. Now I'm guessing the energy, the comms, everything has been extended that much more.
Already early pressure coming out from G2. But EnVy, Turtle, EnVy was the team that took down the red-hot NRG.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it was all through Atomic. Atomic got every single goal in that series. And, you know, normally it's missed, but now JNaps with the flip reset fake could have gotten past one. Rizzo comes in for the demo, still keeping pressure. We've already got some close attempts on net, and this is what we expect, James.
First minute will come and go. Chicago attacking backboard. Rizzo will pinch it. Chicago in the right spot, the right time. And the top right corner, Chicago will get G2 the lead.
Oh, who was in net here? Somebody was rotating out. It was Turbo who had to dodge the demo. There we go, and Atomic had creeped into the corner, maybe for the shadow defensive play to get a better clear. Oh, that's all thanks to the demo. Last series was demo intensive. We're probably going to see the same one here, or the same style, mostly from G2, who love to get that demo play involved.
Oh, but that was a beautiful flick pass from Mist. You want Atomic to be able to do more with that.
Yeah.
Hard backboard bounce. JNaps doesn't make contact. Chicago will set things up himself. Now Atomic again, shooting opportunity. He'll go for the pass off the arc of the ceiling. Doesn't pan out. Chicago lobbing it up for Rizzo. Rizzo gets a piece of it. Back to Chicago. Chicago controls it. Tried to drop it down, but got demoed from Atomic. JNaps off the ceiling. Ground pinch will be cleared by Mist.
Oh, I'm getting scared for the EnVy defense because we're seeing 1v1 attempt after 1v1 attempt for G2. Saw a good ground pitch from JNaps, then the dribble from Chicago to keep it close. Once they start incorporating the midfield passing, that's what could break down the defense, as all three players from Team EnVy can be found in the net at sometimes. It's a little bit risky.
Chicago dropping it down to his own corner. Atomic has Mist in the middle. It's a nice pop. JNaps will clear it out to Chicago. Rizzo gets a demo on Atomic and now goes for the backboard. Atomic will help him out. Again, staying on the play. Flicks it towards net. Chicago, easy clear to the corner. JNaps off the ceiling and down. Mist beats Chicago to the ball. Atomic beats speed. Rizzo. Now it's bouncing straight down. And JNaps with a nice little touch to get the ball out of harm's way. The follow-up is saved. Turbo couldn't get it around. Chicago with a massive save.
The defense from both Chicago and JNaps, those were tough angles to get the read. And in those instances, you will usually find an own goal because it's so difficult for them to come across and scoop the ball to the net on the goal line. Both of them succeeding here and keeping the lead.
Only 2 shots from EnVy. Both of them saved by Chicago. Tap up. Atomic off the corner now to Mist. Mist shot saved by Rizzo. Turbo over to Mist. Mist off the ceiling. Chicago awkward ball, needs help from Rizzo, who does well with it in the corner. Atomic will dunk him. Turbo. It's a good bounce for him. Hit it hard for the backboard. JNaps will slow things down. EnVy's had good
nice
pressure. Will they get a goal from it?
We saw Mist in the corner too, getting a 50. Almost bounced out perfectly for somebody on Team EnVy that was actually waiting for the clear. And this is the offense from EnVy. What I wanted to consider was, you know, Atomic had a stellar performance against NRG. Mist has been a monster so far in the regional event, almost in every series. If they combine forces against G2, it could be catastrophic for that defense.
So far, G2, their defense holding strong. Mist off his own back wall. Ball pinches out to Rizzo. Got a piece of it. Second effort towards net. Turbo with the save. Rebound out to JNaps. JNaps, the center, forces Turbo and Mist to jump. Atomic going to turn on this one. No one back for G2. Turbo gets the goal.
Oh, and check the communication, too. Atomic saw that Turbo could follow it up, so he decides to turn around, get a bump on Rizzo, who probably would have gotten the save. It's really difficult to tell in that situation, but Rizzo was about to land, and he would reset his flip so he could instantly backflip, at least trying to get a touch on the ball. But since Atomic bumped him, he was that much more delayed to hit all 4 wheels and get that extra flip.
Chicago refilling his boost tank in the corner, stopped out by Turbo. Good pass. Mist will slow it down, but it's right to Rizzo. Rizzo going for net. Atomic will get the save. Turbo racing to it, but can't keep it alive, and we've got overtime.
The pressure was bound to make the G2 defense break. I mean, we've seen EnVy so dominant in the corners now, getting aggressive with the bumps. That's what worked with Atomic on Rizzo. Let's see if a midfield pass works out as Atomic decides to keep this one close. Teammates lurking on the other side. The G2 defense, maybe one counterattack as this one slots in. I think the defender might have assumed Atomic was going to get an earlier touch.
Oh, Chicago was trying to pass it over to JNaps,
man.
But it was a bit scrambly, and Atomic will make the most of that.
That's painful. That is painful. You saw JNaps assume maybe Atomic was getting a first touch, and he just grazed by the ball. He could have easily outpaced Atomic had he been more aware that he was farther back behind the ball, and it's one mistake like that that results in a loss for the first game.
And G2, it looked like they played good enough to win it, but that was not the case. EnVy with goals, or a goal near the end with 18 seconds left. Turbo scoring that.
Yeah, and I want to look at this. Okay, first of all, that save. We got to talk about the save. That was such a difficult angle from Chicago and JNaps. Yeah, back to back. But look at this bump attempt. Rizzo, there could have been a chance. It would have been difficult if he had all 4 wheels planted and the bump hadn't happened. He might have been able to spam the jump button real quickly, get the backflip, and save it. So huge bump from Atomic. He's not just scoring all the goals in the previous years, but now he's getting physical and getting the bumps.
And it's just doing what you have to get the wins. EnVy showing us how it's done. Stealing game 1 against G2. Atomic going across field. And you feel bad for Chicago and JNaps. That misplay from them, they quickly make up for it. Chicago will get the assist to JNaps quickly into game 2.
Yep, we're not feeling bad for Chicago and JNaps anymore because they start out strong. Missed pre-jump trying to get a touch. Assumed maybe Chicago was going for a shot on net, and they were just caught out of position. Good little passing play from G2 as the duo works out again.
See if they can hold on to the lead this time. Rizzo off the side while JNaps a low shot. Chicago banking it off the wall. Atomic low boost will flick it around JNaps, but got hung up on him. Now a chance for Chicago off the backboard. Atomic didn't have the boost, still struggling to get to it. Can see not the greatest touch. JNaps taking it up off the ceiling and missed with a hard hit. Turbo, some good speed. Chicago will turn. Gets demoed by Turbo, and that'll relieve tons of pressure for EnVy.
Yeah, that's huge. Eliminating that player from G2 coming into the midfield. He would have kept all the pressure. Now you can go for a counterattack as Mist looked for something special, but Atomic was caught out of position, and he could have gotten back, or maybe a touch. He was too slow. G2, it's a free shot all the way from midfield.
And that bounce, you could tell no one was expecting it. Nobody on EnVy, at least. Chicago will pick up his second assist. And that was a hard bounce. Atomic was expecting that he'd be able to get up to it, but he was low on boost. That was such a high bounce. He had no shot.
I don't think anybody expected it, especially with these 50s. A lot of times when both players are coming in so fast, you try to predict where it's going to go, especially as third man. That prediction element is so important to keep the pressure in. If you miscalculate, it could be a counterattack just like we saw where a free net is given to whoever gets up first.
You need to be good at risk assessment as that third man.
Yeah.
Turbo blocked by Chicago. Atomic, tough ball. G2 smothering EnVy so far. Almost get another one off the corner. Rizzo going for the pass. Turbo clears Chicago back in. First 2 minutes, all G2. 7 shots to none for EnVy. Now shooting opportunity for Mist. Went for the double tap, but it didn't work out. Demo now. Open space for JNaps. Flicked it over Turbo. What a flick from JNaps.
Oh, he recognized all the space was given to him. So he takes it up past midfield, turns his car ever so slightly to the left to get the power on the flick. JNaps, not a notable 1v1 player, but he's got the skill to become one. And look at how flashy that goal was.
Lovely flick from JNaps, showing us how it's done. G2, if you had a question about how they'd respond to that tough loss, well, I think this answers it. Now 4-0 for G2.
And it seems like they're trying to shoot a bit earlier. Rizzo gets a nice little flick out as Atomic goes for the back pass. It's risk assessment that we talked about, James, before, where you have to evaluate your options. And a back pass in that situation where it's a little bit too predictable, that's frustrating. And that was just given away to G2.
Rizzo tried to slow play Turbo. It didn't work out. Chicago with a dunk. Missed. Will catch it now. 50 sends it off the ceiling. Turbo has it sent all the way back to his own corner. Atomic fakes out Chicago. Will stay dribbling. Gets the corner boost steal. Missed. Preventing Rizzo from clearing. Now passes over to Turbo. Turbo back to Mist, but Mist was rotating out.
Oh, that could have been a good attempt for Turbo to go off the backboard. The pass obviously wasn't intended, at least for Mist, to get another reception from the cross hit into the corner. And Turbo, there was so much space. Nobody from G2 wanted to go to the backboard. Maybe go for some more solo plays from EnVy. I'm trying to figure out what would help them against G2, but it just seems like they are not an even match with the speed.
This game, it seems that way at least. The first shot for EnVy goes in. Turbo, with 1:24 left on the clock, gets the lead down to 3 for G2.
Yeah, there's a chance. And you saw Atomic there, got the 50 to force it into the corner. Turbo just shot it right at the goalkeeper. It was too fast to even react. 1:24 seconds, EnVy. I mean, they've got Atomic and Mist. The pop-off potential is definitely there, James.
Turbo trying to pop off, goes for the dish. That one, a bit too much mustard on it. If it was hit a little bit lighter, perhaps EnVy could have got there in time. That ball rolled all the way across the goal line. JNaps against Turbo. Hard 50, skips off the wall, Missed, gets demoed. Chicago will put it in. And G2, no way, they lose this one. Now 4 goals separating them from EnVy.
It kind of reminds me of that series for G2 against the Peeps, where the Peeps won the first one and then G2 respond back. I think it was 5-1, 6-1, similar scoreline here. Physical plays always working out for G2. Haven't seen too much of the midfield passing, but that's a good sign because once they start incorporating that, that could be a good way to adapt if EnVy somehow respond with a better defense of their own.
G2, they have that offensive firepower. And if Chicago and JNaps are working together well, it's difficult enough. Final 30 seconds. EnVy trying to make this one a bit more respectable. We'll see if G2 can keep running up the scoreline. They have been scoring quite a bit today. Atomic will hit one.
Ooh, and it's from the midfield. From a nice little team pass play as Turbo pinches it into Mist, then it goes in the middle for Atomic. You can't blame anybody on G2 for not predicting that one, but getting a goal even in the final few seconds is important going on to the next one, just to at least try to alleviate some of the mental stress of not playing well in this game. And you talked about it yourself, the pop-off potential from G2 has always been there, and that's why you see them have a struggle in the first game, but then come out here and just dominate against EnVy.
EnVy showing some life near the end. Ooh. Another one at 0 seconds from Mist. So despite EnVy taking the loss here, near the end, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, and this is a notable thing for the mentality of G2. Now the win, you know, you still get a solid one in game 2, but as you go into game 3, you're doubting yourself just a little bit. You don't have the same momentum. The playstyle was breaking down a bit. EnVy, they're going to start out strong in the next one.
They ended strong, but still, G2 had run up the scoreline so much at that point. It was a bit too far out of reach. Yeah. But just like the Space Station Pioneers series, it looks like both of these teams coming here to win, both of them showing that they're playing well enough to get the win. So I would not be surprised to see that if this one goes the distance, Turtle. G2, however, started off so well this game. They were so fast out to that lead that it was too far for EnVy to catch up from.
Right, it was the dynamic duo, and I actually just said that we didn't see too many midfield passes, but the second goal, I totally forgot, was a fantastic midfield pass where it was just given off, almost like a handoff into the player who shot from the midfield. And that's a routine play for G2. They'll have one player up in the corner, forces a 50. A guy is shadowing that 50. The ball rolls back to him. The guy who's receiving the 50 then hits it into the midfield for the striker, who's usually Rizzo. And that's something that you got to watch out for Team EnVy. So I would recommend maybe after Mist, Turbo, or Atomic goes for the 50, have somebody else instantly follow it up and be ready for the midfield pass from G2.
Already it's getting aggressive. Mist demoing Chicago. It's a good bounce. Not the greatest touch from Mist. Backboard pass, Turbo there to clean up, and Mist gets the demo on Chicago, who had stolen that corner boost. Turbo, backboard pass, Mist was running on pads, didn't want to go up for it. It's too risky. Atomic to Turbo. Turbo missed contact.
Those are the plays you need to hit against G2, especially when the counterattacks are given to you. G2 gets so aggressive that you have got to put those in, or at least put a shot on net. Oh, but there's a good play from Mist. Look at it. 2 players out of the play. Let's see what he does now. Forces a 50, something that G2 do a lot. And it's kicked out by JNAP's strong defense.
And Mist. We've been talking him up recently. Oh, Turbo, the 50 and the shot from Mist. Save Atomic follow-up. Almost goes in. JNAP pitches it out. The low shot from Mist. Throws a change up and gets it around G2.
Oh, this has got to be a highlight shot. It looks so funny, but it is so calculated. Mist jumps up for that. It's a panic situation for G2's defense, and Mist recognizes that completely and just sneezes on the ball. It drops down a little bit and rolls in. What a play from EnVy.
And Mist had a great start. You saw him in the corner in a situation, 3v1, got it around pretty much every player. He forced that 50 on the last one, but that bought so much time. It let his team get downfield and ultimately set up that play. See if G2 can bring back some of that offense that they showed in game 2. Atomic to Mist. Mist going for the air dribble. JNAPs will get the clear. Turbo as Atomic across field. High pass to him. Double tap attempt. Didn't really go well. Atomic hit that arc and it bounced down. Now Atomic gonna have to buy time.
That was a risky play too from Turbo and Mist. They were in the defensive area. Double commit. And I'm getting scared because G2 now they're starting to break out. Once one double commit happens, you start panicking even more. Mist also jumping for that shot, so the defense a little bit out of rotation. Communication has been breaking down.
Clear attempt. Rizzo will drop it down. Turbo was standing right there, however. Takes over. Dribbles from Turbo. Now a pinch up the sidewall. Rizzo up the ceiling. Stopped by Atomic. Chicago now down to JNAPs. And JNAPs caught a bit out now. Mist will pass it, but Chicago breaks up the play. G2 handled that well. Rizzo 50 by Turbo. G2 still retaining possession. This one's going to pop straight up. Low boost for Atomic.
That's 50.
Turbo comes in, boots it, and then backflips so he could keep his positioning on the field.
It was a decent play. He tried to catch JNAPs off guard because he could have gone for a dribble. I'm not sure if it was the best choice. Now Mist the ground pinch. A lot of creative plays now from Team EnVy. We saw the earlier light touch from Mist, maybe the backflip shot from Turbo, now ground pinches. And Rizzo could get a demo on Turbo, who has to jump. He can't get the save because he was forced to dodge the demo attempt. G2 tied up.
Chicago, the perfect hit to JNaps. Rizzo flipping right there. You could see him harassing Turbo.
That was a good attempt, though. He saved his flip and could have pinched it with the ground with the back of his car, but just milliseconds off.
And you saw with Rizzo jumping early there, he cut off Turbo's approach to the ball. Rizzo looked like he might have wanted to go for another demo there on missed.
Oh, no.
And chaos in front of net. Rebound out to Rizzo. Rizzo, hard shot. Atomic will get the save. I can't believe it. Atomic. That could have been it.
I don't even know what just happened the past 10 seconds. Mist had flipped, and while he was flipping on the defensive side, Turbo was too slow to get to the clear, so Mist touched it. Almost an own goal. Then it bounces off the post as Atomic gets that save. It's still tied up here for what looks like should have been a G2 goal to lead things.
Atomic and Mist both jump for this. Mist in his own corner. Now going to get challenged by Chicago. A good bounce for Rizzo. Rizzo stopped by Turbo. Chicago will miss that as well. Turbo with the midfield boost. Perfect pass to Atomic. The shot saved by JNaps. Missed. Perhaps wanted to center it, but it was too far away from his teammates. Rizzo going for the 50. Atomic will pick it back to his own corner.
Turbo the bump.
Trying to stay on the field. Turbo wanted to get a bump of his own. Rizzo racing to this one. JNaps taps to himself. Goes for the 50 off the ceiling. Down to Chicago. Chicago's shot around Atomic, who had no boost on the goal line. He was falling and flailing. And Chicago took his opportunity.
Oh, that is such rough timing for Atomic. You said it, he had no boost on the backboard from his perspective. He saw the ball coming down from the ceiling and thought, now's my chance to get back in net. I don't have any boost. I want to get in a better position just in case I can save this shot. But as he's jumping down, Chicago hits the shot.
And we saw a strategic kickoff play there for EnVy, but it did not pan out. G2, they make up for that first game that they let go by stealing that game 3 in those final moments.
That was so scary. And I was watching Atomic's perspective. I was panicking just from seeing his perspective. That's a situation you never want to be in. You have 0 boost. It was smart for him to go on the backboard in case the 50 had bounced up, so maybe you could get it clear. It was the best possible situation, but the timing was just so unfortunate. Things started out well for EnVy with the shot from Miss. That was so creative. And then the bump attempts from Rizzo. He was being annoying in the backfield. It was too much for EnVy to handle.
Rizzo, credit to him. He was playing an important role in this game. That bump attempt on Turbo, that was a key moment. Huge. Rizzo, such an annoying player when it comes to those bumps and demos, continues to show us why. Week in and week out. Now G2, they snag the lead.
If we follow along with the script, I mean, we're going to get a response from EnVy. I'm not sure what it is going to be. We had some creative plays last game. It didn't work out. Maybe some bumps of their own to counter G2. I'm not sure.
Missed. Almost found an opportunity all on his own. JNaps will have Rizzo in support. Rizzo bails on this one. Lets Miss take the first hit. Bouncing back to the middle. JNaps with the pop. Atomic. Follow up. Now Turbo. Gonna go for the air dribble play, or perhaps now goes for the backboard. JNaps, hard hit up to Rizzo. Rizzo gets the bump on Atomic out of the air, but it was after Atomic already made contact. Tap up from Turbo. Ceiling pass down. Chicago and Rizzo both jump, but JNaps will get a nice clear. Missed. Stretches for that. Didn't want to let that one bounce across the middle of the net. Everyone missing for G2. Oh, no. Wide open net for Turbo. And EnVy, they'll take advantage of this miss from both Chicago and JNaps.
And that started with Chicago. That hit from him is so important. JNaps had an idea. I think the communication for Chicago having it be, or he probably said it was awkward. And then JNaps could have gone forward. But after Chicago missed and didn't get a touch, EnVy, they're too fast. They're not going to let that one slide. Rizzo was just rotating in. That's the best way to start for EnVy now. 3 minutes and 38 seconds. We haven't seen the best offense from G2, but of course they're going to bounce back. It's just how things work. Maybe a couple demos. EnVy's got to hold on.
Chicago. Get some help from Rizzo. JNaps. That was a great 50 from Atomic. Hard hit off the backboard. Awkward ball for Chicago. He misses, but JNaps will clear it downfield. JNaps pass miss. Chicago trying to weave it through. Rebound out to Rizzo. It's saved. Rebound out to JNaps, and Atomic gets in the way yet again.
Oh, that was just a huge stop from Atomic, getting in front of the shot, and then another 50 to stop G2 from moving forward like a brick wall. Then the bumps from Rizzo. He is so annoying to deal with. He's rotating in your half. He's taking your boost, and then he's going to bump you out of the way.
Turbo had no idea. He had no idea Rizzo was coming.
He's like a snake. He gets into your half, and he's just taking all the boost. You don't even see him. How are you going to dodge him if he's behind you?
You can't. Rizzo making it work for G2. Turbo tapping it upfield, missed. Lost out on his 50. Now Chicago going for a pass down. It'll kick up in front of net. Turbo airborne, pass down to Mist. It's the right idea, but G2 sniffed it out. Turbo testing JNaps, rebound to Mist. Mist, the low corner shot. Turbo also streaking in front of net, making it tough for G2 to read where this was going to come from.
Yeah, both these goals for EnVy have almost been like G2's playing themselves. It's a bad hit there to just toss it out to the striker. G2, earlier on, it was a big miss from Chicago. Uncharacteristic defensive performance. It's inconsistent for G2 as they look now to fight against a lead for EnVy.
Chicago clears it hard downfield. Atomic sends it right back. Ceiling bounce, missed up. Rizzo wins the race. Chicago beat by Atomic. Some ping pong. The net's wide open. Turbo, can he get there in time? Yes, he can. EnVy extend their lead.
Oh, who was the one who got that clear? Was that Turbo? Whoever got the clear in the corner from EnVy, that was massive. It didn't hit the ceiling, and JNaps thought it was going to. So we got a poor touch, and nobody is home for G2 because JNaps couldn't stall at any time, and it all was based off that massive clear from EnVy.
EnVy looking good here in game 4. And Turtle, I think you called it. You said now's the time in the script when EnVy gets one back, playing out exactly as planned.
And we expected it too, with how even the last series was crazy. But I mean, there's still time for G2. I don't want to finish off the script because maybe that's also written in there. And we saw what happened for EnVy as the time was running down. They almost came back from, what was it, a 5-1 deficit? So things could go either way, but the defense from EnVy solid, the clear's massive, and they're always ready to exploit when G2 have a miss on defense or can't get a solid clear.
Miss. Down to the corner. Atomic. Now Rizzo with some space will chip it right at Turbo. Turbo with the pre-flip. Drop down from Chicago. And now Rizzo off the arc of the ceiling, and Atomic will get the clear out. G2 putting on some pressure in these final moments. Rizzo gets demoed. Turbo getting some revenge from that bump play that Rizzo had earlier.
That felt personal. That felt real personal. And that was one where Rizzo couldn't have controlled it either. Wasted even more time. G2, it doesn't look like they're going to battle back. Maybe get one for the road. Still, if they can put one in here from JNaps, it's not going to go in. Atomic, of course, a massive clear, like I said. It's working out. And this is what happens. When your clear against G2 is strong, they have to run all the way back, and that's where you can counterattack.
Rizzo misreading that one. Atomic will put one more in for good measure. EnVy with a strong response. JNaps pass up to Chicago. Backboard bounce denied by Mist. Atomic down to Mist. EnVy want to get one more.
Well, maybe they could. Nope. I lied. It's Team EnVy, of course. The flip, or the script, of course, it says it goes the other way. EnVy. That's a brilliant response. They didn't do anything crazy. I don't think we saw them break down in rotations besides when they got bumped, which is out of their control. Super clean and solid performance, and I think they were just waiting on the mistakes of G2, James.
It seems, too, that G2 is a bit too predictable. You can even see the number of saves. 7 saves for EnVy. They're letting G2 get these weak hits in towards them, and then getting these counterattacks, getting these 50-50s. It is working in favor of them right now. EnVy had G2 figured out in game 4, and we're all tied up at 2 games apiece. And this one, Turtle, still feels like anyone's series.
Yeah, that was a slower game as well. I mean, a lot of these goals, the ball is just stuck on the ground. So I don't know if that's a tactic from EnVy to keep the ball lower against G2, maybe force out some more 50s where you're grounded and go for solo plays. That could be something that's very possible because G2 seem to thrive the most when the ball is just going crazy because Chicago is a beast when he's on the offensive half, setting up JNAPs from the top of the corners.
Now we've got game 5. G2 didn't really seem to have any answers for EnVy. JNAPs slow playing it. Chicago comes in to help with the 50. Now Rizzo misses that hit. Turbo with a bit of space will flick it over to Atomic, but JNAPs was in the passing lane ready for that play. Oh, and the net wide open. The skip off the hood for Atomic, and that was exactly what EnVy needed in that situation. Expedited that delivery.
And there was a demo for both teams, except Atomic's was so much more well-timed. He got the player who would have maybe intercepted the clear. Another wide open net, and this is what I was talking about. It seems like EnVy aren't trying to create something out of thin air. Instead, they're just wasting all of G2's boost and then forcing them to make the mistake instead of having some crazy play from Mist or Atomic.
Mist was looking for Atomic. JNAPs the quick turn. Skips to the middle. Rizzo off the backboard. Mist did well, but Rizzo still keeping the pressure on. Pass over to Chicago off the backboard, and G2 respond. We're all tied up.
We got some more bumps, too, to look at. Rizzo gets that nice little pop-up. JNAPs knows Chicago is going to go for the shot. And imagine had somebody gotten the clear. This is the offense from G2. It is basically a coin flip. Had that not gone their way and EnVy got the clear, all 3 players would have been pushed up. You have to make sure you strike well if you're G2. That time it works out.
Rizzo testing Mist, but it was an easy block. Missed again, going for the block. Rebound out to JNAPs. It's a high shot, but it was easy for Atomic to clear to the corner. Turbo helping out. JNAPs sets up his first touch, second touch. Going for backboard, but Atomic again clears it out. Chicago perhaps wanted to find JNAPs. 50 from Mist. Chicago will have this go back. Chicago gets the bump, and then Atomic was bumped by Chicago into Rizzo. We are seeing this be a physical game.
Yeah. Well, look at how the ball doesn't seem to want to go up. If it's going to get pushed in the air, it's usually from G2, who want to force this ball into the corners, maybe get some clears. And EnVy are fine with just taking challenges like this from Atomic, where you're keeping it low in the corner, waiting for a 50, because G2 have been struggling with winning those challenges and pushing forward. Rizzo now going for a dribble, and yet it's Mist there to face him.
Approaching the halfway point. It's a tie game, tied up in this series as well. Couldn't have asked for a more closely matched semifinal. G2 and EnVy, 2 top teams in North America, battling it out to try to make it to the grand finals. But the Kansas City Pioneers are waiting. Turbo testing the sideline defense of G2.
Oh my God, Atomic bumped JNAPs into the hit, and then he doubled it off the ceiling. That play almost worked out for them as Rizzo can't get the save, missed. I'm not sure what happened here. There were 2 players from G2 in the net. I did not expect this one to go all the way across.
Rizzo perhaps thinking that JNaps was going to hit it for a split second. That indecision, whatever it was, a mistake, doesn't matter. Turbo will come in and punch that one through on the goal line. An easy goal for Turbo.
That looks so weird, too, from JNap's perspective. It was like he was mind gaming on the goal line to fake out whoever was crashing the net. And now Rizzo backflips. I think he could have gotten a piece of this. He had boost in the tank. So many weird plays as G2's defense just breaking down left and right.
Yeah, it was a backflip from Rizzo, and he had the line, had the boost. So a couple mistakes from G2 back-to-back on defense, and that costs them back-to-back goals. Now down by 2, but off kickoff, JNaps will get one back.
Oh, you love to see an instant response if you're a G2 fan. 50 from missed over to Atomic, and JNaps recognizes where Atomic is, knows he can get in front of him. Nice little shot. They've only got 1 goal to score to tie things up, 1:40. Plenty of time on the clock. You just can't be making those mistakes on defense.
Rizzo, he made that backflip mistake, but it was his challenge that got that over to JNaps. So a good recovery from Rizzo. Turbo, a light shot. Easily saved. Atomic, he's looked good so far. Has Turbo in the middle. Rizzo will end any chance there. Chicago off the ceiling. Rizzo upfield. JNaps with the light bump on miss. Gives Chicago space. Chicago the dribble, the flick, backboard bounce, and now Turbo
1v1
shooting, trying to get it past Rizzo. Rizzo will save it off his own backboard. Atomic going for the double, no. It was a bit too far behind him. It's just a backboard pass that didn't pan out.
Almost one of those usual situations where G2 overextend, booming clear from EnVy. The counterattack was lurking. Rizzo still alone on defense. EnVy don't want to push up too many players. They are literally just being patient on offense, trying to keep this one back. You see Atomic going for the back pass. Turbo now keeping it close. They don't want to risk anything.
Chicago down to Rizzo. Rizzo, light touch, goes for the 50. Missed out on it, but Chicago helps him out. Atomic 0 boost on the back wall, does get the corner. Shot comes in, double commit from EnVy on the goal line. Final 10 seconds. JNaps, the pre-flip, it's bouncing in front of net. Turbo will clear to the corner. And now downfield, Chicago keeps it airborne. JNaps is up. Drops it back down. Turbo gets 50 by Rizzo. It's a good corner bounce. No boost for me. Chicago taps it, but doesn't go for the shot. And EnVy will squeak away in those final moments and get the win.
Oh my, I wish I knew Chicago's thought process there. I don't know if he thought somebody from his team was on the other side waiting for the hit. I saw the buzzer beater. It could have happened had Chicago known there was going to be a miss in the corner. He just tapped it over to the side. Nobody was waiting from G2. EnVy seemed to have them figured out, though, and the defense, they know when the midfield passes are coming out from G2. They get in front of them. Even if you can't intercept it, just get a 50 instead of giving G2 all those shots that they love taking.
Yeah, and this one, even at the beginning of the game, was back and forth.
Yeah.
But we saw some key mistakes out of Rizzo on defense. And that miscommunication from Rizzo and JNaps, that really cost them. G2 just making those mistakes that was the difference in that game.
It's simple-ish mistakes. Obviously, the offensive pressure of EnVy is difficult to deal with, but we're not seeing anything crazy out of them. Usually we'll see unreal shots from missed, from angles that nobody expects him to shoot from. Atomic also is a destructive monster on offense whenever he starts getting warmed up. We're not seeing too much of that. It's just G2 breaking down a little bit. EnVy are there to fill in the gaps, and they have the perfect timing with their shots.
JNaps off the ceiling. Will send Atomic scrambling. Chicago with the challenge. This is it for G2. Their tournament life at stake.
Yeah.
EnVy with a win here can move on to play the Pioneers in the grand finals. Turbo, light shot. Rizzo with the save. It bounces up. Chicago, good speed. Hard clear downfield to the corner. Now it bounces out to the middle. Chicago Towards net, Turbo, easy save. But a miss. Perhaps G2 will gain some footing here. Rizzo with some space will let that bounce, leaves it to Chicago. Passes upfield, missed. Didn't really get the touch he was looking for. Now a chance. Rizzo bounces it off the backboard. EnVy scrambling a bit. Missed, will recover nicely. Now pressure from EnVy. Missed, or Atomic jumps very early and got to that ball quickly.
Oh, there we go.
G2 on the counter.
Passing. That's what we need from G2 is unpredictable passing where you're going to your own teammate to get this clear out. Because you said it, James, earlier. EnVy, it's very predictable games to read against G2. You know where they're going to pass. And then, speaking of the pass, look at Turbo dishing this out to Atomic, the striker in the midfield. That's not off a mistake from G2. They make their own opportunity.
And this was a pre-jump from Atomic. He was so confident that Turbo was going to pass it down at that angle. Atomic and Turbo on the same wavelength, and EnVy will take the lead. The pool shot! JNaps can't save it! A pool shot! What a play from EnVy!
Mist was cheating so close to the ball. Atomic was still in the 50 after the kickoff, and Mist doesn't even care about the positioning of his teammate. He just flies forward. I'm not sure if it was calculated, but it looked so goofy. And that is so much confidence now on the side of EnVy. 2 goals right away, 3 minutes. You're on match point. The Pioneers are waiting for their opponent, and it looks like it's going to be EnVy.
That was an excellent kickoff goal. One of the more entertaining ones that you'll ever see. G2, do they have the grit to get back in this game? We're approaching that halfway point, down by 2. EnVy, will they get another one here? I think so. It's bouncing all the way back.
Oh my goodness. It's Rizzo looking for the pass in midfield as he creeps up a little bit too much. This is the classic mistake from G2 where they constantly expect a midfield pass that should come out, granted. But Rizzo was just too aggressive, too hopeful for that pass. And they're looking for a goal. They have to be risky now with their plays. 3 goals down. More aggression is going to come out from G2, but that just gives EnVy even more opportunities for counterattacks and big clears.
Today seems like EnVy's day. They took down that red-hot NRG squad that were the favorites to win it all. And now, toe-to-toe with G2, looking like the better team.
Oh, and the reads. Look at the defensive speed from Atomic. He easily knew where Rizzo was trying to go with that ball. Got up so fast. The striker didn't even have a chance to touch it, and it's a massive clear where they relieve pressure. Everybody can grab boost and recover and reset.
G2, though, they can't afford too many resets. Time melting off the clock. Chicago to JNaps. JNaps off the ceiling, missed up early to shut it down. Rizzo over to the corner and Atomic. Beautiful pass. Turbo, the shot's going to be wide. But again, EnVy threatened.
Yeah, on the 50 from Mist. Defensive clears, too strong. That is the name of the game for EnVy. I've also seen so many pre-jumps on defense where Mist or Atomic know exactly where G2 are trying to go with the ball. They get a nice clear out. Turbo is as a turn here in midfield, wasting more time. Rizzo can't get the best touch. Time is winding down for G2. They've got to make a move right here, right now if they want a chance.
Booming clear, Rizzo off his own backboard. It's a good bounce for EnVy. Turbo going for the double tap. Can end it here, and it's saved. Turbo even throwing in the faking quick chat. Almost a double tap from Atomic. EnVy keeping G2 on lockdown as these final moments tick away.
Yeah, they don't want to give G2 a key to get out right now. 30 seconds left. I don't think there's a chance. Atomic going for a bump. Not the best pass out to Rizzo, who misses the hit. It is not G2's day, but EnVy, in contrast, are looking so lethal on offense. We saw creative plays, the kickoff goal, the pool shot, fakes from Turbo, now Atomic. It is too fun to watch, James.
Oh, my. And you said the plays. Here's another one.
Oh, yeah.
The fake.
That's not.
Atomic adding insult to injury. Team EnVy. This one was back and forth at the beginning, but in the home stretch, EnVy pulls away.
The Pioneers, they know what they're up against. They're seeing this EnVy offense, the defense as well, that has worked so effortlessly against G2. Free jumps all over, booming clears, man. I mean, this is where Team EnVy thrive. I think this grand finals is going to be one of the best we've seen, James, and I can't wait to watch it.
Team EnVy taking the semifinal over G2 Esports, and they're moving on to the grand finals. EnVy, they looked good. They looked pretty good at the start, but near the end, they looked very good. So seeing how they're playing and how the Pioneers played against Space Station, I think this is going to be a very competitive grand final.
And they were able to play both sides of the game, you know, on defense. When they were stuck in their own half, they didn't panic at all. We barely saw any double commits, and they were able to move forward, punish the mistakes of G2, and also get some crazy little dribble plays. I think Atomic in the end with the fake, that represents what they can bring to the table. They're going to be very difficult going to the grand finals for the Pioneers. But then on the other side, SSG versus the Pioneers, if you watch that series, that was a very fast-paced one. Pioneers weren't making nearly as many mistakes. We're going to get a close series.
Man, that was a fun one. I thought G2 was going to be able to make it close near the end, but that just wasn't in the cards.
Yeah.
Atomic, Mist, Turbo, all playing excellent Rocket League. And Turbo, can you ever doubt the 4-time? I don't think you can.
No, don't doubt him. He's too clutch. He's too clutch, man.
So that was quite the series from EnVy, taking down NRG, taking down G2, and now they have their eyes set on the Pioneers. The grand finals, EnVy versus the Pioneers, coming up right after the break.